Right, we are live for Rhiannon Park open parade, I suppose, Yearling Sale Day. So, Blanche Bull, firstly, welcome.
Yep, thanks, Paul. Thanks for coming, and welcome everyone out there.
It's all good. There's lots of people out there watching. There'll be people joining in. We're a little bit late getting going, but that's okay. YouTube can do that to you from time to time. Today's sale, we've been interrupted a little bit by the weather, so we're just going to do a little bit of a condensed parade in undercover here, so we have to do it the safe way.
That's right, yeah. It was just a little bit overcast, still raining a little, although the rain is a blessing. But yeah, we'll be just doing a bit of a parade here behind us.
And it just wafts across 20 yearlings in this year's 2021 yearling sale, yearling draft, and you've got a little bit of everything in the sale: paces, trotters, fillies, colts, super bred ones, and middle of the range for people that want to come to the sale and be able to purchase, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. I know it sounds a bit cliche, but there'll be something there for everyone.
There really is. Today we've got Brett Coffey, who's going to do a lot of the pedigrees and that for some of these horses going through the sales to and talk about them over the top. Dennis Bice, who's got 5 horses with you, and Steve, and I've just remembered Steve instead of Stuart, but I can't remember his last name either. Steve Walker, who's got 2 fillies as well. So these 3 gentlemen are going to talk over them and the rest. When we swap from the colts, we're going to start with the colts. Once we go to the fillies, we will catch up with Rebecca from Highgain, Cartwright. I forgot her name there for a minute as well. So there'll be a little bit of everything going on. It's not going to go forever, but we'll touch on them. And at the end of it, we'll probably catch up with yourself and Dean afterwards and just get a bit of a feel for how the sale went. So I'm actually got to throw. Dennis Bice is doing a great job. I wonder if he can see the cut button over there. If Dennis can see the cut button on that white panel and hit that for me, and they'll get the boys in. Right, we're good to go. Good as gold, Blanche. Thank you very much. Here's your microphone, boys, so you guys are live. I'm just telling you. So, we've got our first one in there ready to go. Dennis, this is one of yours. I've got to actually hit up another button, but we're good to go. That didn't work. Now we're good to go. This is the Used to Me out of the La Treneur, one of your lovely little trotters here, Bicey.
Yeah, certainly is, Paul. La Tonorella is a New Zealand mare. She's a half-sister to 2 Derby winners. We bought her out of New Zealand a few years ago and really liked the family. But this bloke by Used to Me, lovely colt, nice, big, strong-looking colt, and a really good family. She's produced Jillaby Babaska, you'll remember him, second in a Breeders' Crown, won the Lennon Group 3. Also, she's produced Magical, second in the South Australian Trotters Derby, and second in the Silver Series of the Homegrown, and also Maestro, who's won 2 so far to date as well. So he's a lovely horse and been good to do anything with, and yeah, we're really happy with him the way he's come up this time round. So very good.
He's got a bit of look at me, isn't he? He's one of the first ones you see when you walk into the barn, and he's got a little bit of look at me about him, that's for sure. So, lovely type. Thank you very much, Stace. We'll go through with him. I think we're up to you now, Brett. I can't have everything going here at once, so you guys are going to have to run this. This is actually the American Ideal Miss Athens. I know there'll be one gentleman from Kyabram that'll be tuned into this one, that's for sure, Brett.
That's it. This guy's a son of an American Ideal. Out of the mare Miss Athens. That makes him a half-brother to the brilliant Brallas Pass, who won over 300 grand and 18 races. Really good juvenile was Brallas Pass. This guy's mother was a really good 2-year-old as well, won a heat of the Breeders' Crown, defeating Broadway's Best in Life in the Fast Lane. And I'm reliably informed that a 2-year-old called Ideal Melody is ready to qualify for John Justice. So she's doing a great job at studies, Miss Athens. If we look back in the family at this one, is the one of the family of Ronnie Pocox, who had a lot of success with it. You see horses such as Next Bonus, Star Bonus, Whip Air, and By My Side, all brilliant juveniles. And of course, American Ideal needs no introduction. But this guy here is bred on the American Ideal Bettor's Delight cross, which is the same cross as the current WA superstar Magnificent Storm. So he's got the breeding, he looks to have the looks there, so he should be one you have on your list to look at.
I'm reliably informed that Mark Watson may have come over and had a look at these and was instructed to put it in the car and take him home straight away. Actually, was just the other day when they came and had a look at him. But yeah, he's got the American Ideal stamp, and the Kiwis really love the American Ideals through the sales just recently, Brett.
Oh yeah, they've sold well this year, as they should. You know, there's a lot to like about what American Ideal's doing. Obviously, he's been serving full books here in Victoria for a couple of seasons, and yeah, no reason why this guy can't be the next good one by him. And
he looks a nice colt, Blanche. You'd have to be happy with how he behaves and that. Yeah, very, very good. We have our next little colt that's about to come through into the ring is actually the Molly Pitcher, Rock and Roll Hanover. So I think we're back to you again.
That's it. This is a Rock and Roll Hanover colt out of the Umber Operative mare Molly Pitcher. Quite a rare commodity, this guy. He's obviously by Rock and Roll Hanover, who there's not too many of these bred anymore. He's in fact one of only 2 Rock and Roll Hanovers born that year, and the only colt. So a real opportunity presents itself with this colt. Of course, Rock and Roll Hanover, doesn't need any introduction, but his side, such outstanding colts as Rock and Roll Heaven, Rock and Roll Dance, Pet Rock, and of course the current superstar of Australian racing, King of Swing. Molly Pitcher was an 8-time winner herself, and a perfect record, producing 2 black type winners from her first 2 foals. So she's doing the job at stud. And it's a really good juvenile stakes winning family. You look down the page and you see Adams Rocket, Henschke and Art Shadow, just to name a few. It's a real sort of get up and go type family, and this guy being by Rock and Roll Hanover should be no exception.
No, and he's a lovely type, and he's the only one in the sale, obviously, because there was so little of them bred. It's a unique opportunity for someone to get some really nice bloodlines, isn't it?
Absolutely. Rock and Roll Hanover was a tremendous stallion before his demise, early demise, unfortunately. So, and this guy, he's crossed really well with Camfellow line mares as well. So, yeah, this guy's really unique opportunity.
Absolutely, and we're just waiting. We weren't sure how long it would take to get the next ones to come through, so we might just stand him there if you can, Stace. No, might be just a bit past. Just see if we can't get a face-on one for him while we're waiting for the next one to come through, which is going to be not lot number 98, but he's a lovely behaved colt too, and it's good of Stacey Tolley to come and give him a hand here today so we can make this possible. There's going to be a lot of people who can't get out and about to a lot of the farms to be able to, that's better. I was going to say that's not the ideal, but be able to get out to the farm. So it's a unique way of being able to see these horses and see their temperament. I mean, they're in under a shed, the wind is blowing, and it's actually a bit fresh, just to say the least, but just be able to see these horses in their flesh. If I actually get rid of that banner, we'll be able to go from there. So next one should be coming through very shortly, but he's a lovely colt.
He does look an incredibly relaxed colt.
Yep, yeah, he's doing a nice job, that's for sure. So I think the next one, we're going to do one more lap, Stacey's. No, she's not sure. We're just waiting. That's as I said, we weren't sure how long it would take swapping these over, but Stacey's pretty comfortable. The next one's ready to come, I think, the way she gave me the nods up, which is actually going to be the trickiest one of the sale, Brett. I think because it's run over the 2 days, this is actually going to be the first one offered up the next day. So people want to make sure they're actually there and ready early to get this one. And this one's close to home for you, Brett. That's for sure been and always been Mickey out of a Presidential Ball mare. 101? Is this 101?
98. Yes.
I've skipped the level, sorry.
You're right. So this is the Yearling Reactor colt out of the Better's Delight mare, Nicky's Delight. This one's one that, the pedigree really takes advantage of Alan Parker updating it constantly on the Nutrien website, because Nicky's Delight, it's a 3-year-old, is doing a really good job over in WA, a horse called Dominus Factum, now a 6-time winner. He's won 4 times from 7 starts as a 3-year-old, and also finished second in the Group 3 Caduceus Club Classic. So he's a very good 3-year-old in WA, and will only continue to build on that record. Nicky's Delight herself was a very good race mare as well, winning 9 times and over $50,000. She's obviously by Better's Delight, so this guy carries that direct scooter sort of Better's Delight cross, which has produced many racetrack stars down here. The Colts catalogue page, if you look down it, you'll see such juvenile stakes winners as Major Kiss, winner of the Bathurst Gold Tiara. You'll see Marquez de Posh, if I pronounce that right, the Group 1 New South Wales Oaks winner, and also the USDA 3-year-old of the year, Sea Hell Hanover, down the bottom of the page. This guy looks, a big, strong colt that's, covers a lot of ground as he stands there, and should be highly sought after.
I do apologise for that. This is definitely lot number 98. I actually have a running sheet. I have a little bit going on, so there's a few buttons to push, but we are getting there. The next one will come through very, very shortly. But gentlemen, while we're waiting on it, you excited about the sale, upcoming sale?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've really been looking forward to it. Got no doubt there's been a lot of interest around the horses in the sale, and I think it's one of those things that the advertising that's already been done has been, quite good. So we're really pleased and can't wait to get there.
Absolutely, Brett. As a major vendor with Alabar and the likes, you'd have to love the feedback that people are starting to get. There's a bit of excitement starting to build about the whole sale, isn't there?
There absolutely is, Paul. Yeah, it's been a fair while in the planning, I suppose, this sale. But it's a lot of support being put behind it. You see the catalogue; it's outstanding. It's one of the best catalogues I've seen, in Australia. And then you see the people coming out to the farms, looking at them. You see yourself, doing these live broadcasts. There's a lot of interest in it, and I'm sure it's going to be well received.
Absolutely, and we've got a few people on Facebook watching. Don't be scared to fire in the odd question too. It's a unique opportunity to be able to ask the guys that have actually bred these horses. Steve, you're only small, but you're enjoying the feedback that's coming from this sale?
Paul, absolutely. I'd like to endorse what Dennis and Brett have both said in relation to the sale coming up. It's a terrific thing that Nutrien have done for our caper to bring in that competition from that side of the industry. It's very, really good, and it's going to help people breed more horses going forward. Absolutely,
and I love the competition part of it, and all the rest. I think it's actually good. And Bathurst was on the over date. Now, Brett, we have this one that I should have got rid of that lot number 98. I have too much going on here, but this one is a key one. We've got to make sure for the vendors on the Sunday, Brett, that they are aware of this one.
Yes, Paul. Okay, so this is lot 101, and Always Be Mickey colt out of the Presidential Ball Mare One Night. Of course, Always Be Mickey, the fastest horse of all time, going 146 at the Red Mile. He was had his debut crop race in America last season, and it was the clear leading first season sire in America. Side 5 $200,000 plus earning 2-year-olds, including the undefeated US 2-year-old colt of the year in Perfect Sting. He's made a really good start down here as well. Got well over 20 qualifiers, 3 winners, and is currently the leading first season sire in Australia. One Night has a 100% strike rate of winners to starters, and the good thing about that is her 2-year-old last season called Sonur Beach won the heat and final of the SA Kindergarten series. So very current, and she's still leaving good horses. This guy's second Dan Petticoat Tail is a great producer. Produced the really good horse True Cam, Group 1 winner. And then it goes back further to the family of Robin Hood. Of course, won the Vic Cup for Peter Tonkin. He looks to be another really relaxed colt and a really good type, and lovely coat, lovely strength through the shoulder and chest there, and very relaxed by the looks of him. Really well prepared and handled.
He fits a few families too, doesn't he? Andy Gaff is winning everything at the minute with the Petticoat Tails, and Norm Jenkins actually had Petticoat Tails.
Yep.
And then we go back to the Tonkins as well with Robin Hood. So he sort of fits in a few families that might be interested. I noticed Stuart Watt was already watching us there before too, Brett, so he might have keyed in on that one, that's for sure, going on. Lovely colt though, isn't he? And he's got a good shoulder. That's what I really liked about him as he was walking around there. Just seeing, that's for sure.
He did.
So very good. Now, Dennis Bice, this one's got a bit of look at me about him, I must say. In lot number 109, Tintin in America, out of our Naressa Franco, a live or die filly, or mare.
Yeah, so he's chestnut colt here, and our Naressa Franco is a half sister to Franco Nelson. Obviously, 24 wins, 870,000 in prize money. Solid performer all round, Franco Nelson. So he's a lovely type. The mare's left 2 horses, both to the races. Crazy Shippo won 5 as a 3-year-old, and Telemachus he's recently won one as well and is actually going around Thursday night at Ballarat, I believe. So it's a really strong family. I think you might even remember back to Franco Noriega running that blistering time at Bendigo. It won a track record that time. So he's a nice horse, lovely type, good family. I was particularly interested in going to Tintin in America with this bloke Tintin over a live or die mare. So it was particularly something that we wanted to be able to do, and he's a lovely looking colt.
Tintin's an underrated stallion for what he's done. I mean, he's produced arguably the best mare in the world in Sha Tin, just to say a little bit, but he doesn't get any plaudits at all, does he?
No, not really. He is a lovely horse. Well, he was a lovely racehorse himself, Tintin. So from that perspective, but we were really keen to take the mare to Tintin in America, and certainly very happy with the end result.
Absolutely. Was it Smoking Up? Was the other one that was by Tintin in America, Brett? One of Lance Justice's was anyway. I think I'll get it wrong. Someone will tell me I've got it wrong, but he's a beautiful little fella, this bloke, that's for sure. And it's funny how stallions get a bit much maligned, isn't it? You don't get a lot of word about Tintin, and you've got a horse like Sha Tin that everyone would love to have. So it's one of the hardest parts for you guys, I'd imagine, being breeders. You've got to be ahead of the curve. That'd be one of the juggles for you.
Well, it's one of the challenges when you're breeding. You're not breeding for tomorrow. You're breeding for 2 or 3 years ahead of it, and that's part of the challenge to make sure you can produce horses that people are going to be interested in. And Blanche and Dean have done an amazing job with these horses this year, so we're really, really pleased with how they, the outcome and how they look, and they're so relaxed and just so casual about things. So very happy with them at this point.
They've done a good job. I think this is about the 6th colt we've got through so far, and not one of them's carrying on at all. They're quite happy just to stand there and wait for them. We're going to have to pad out for a little bit. You boys like this part when I throw the camera back onto you, so you can see Brett's so happy about it. But I'll better get rid of that one too. We'll get the next one ready to go. But it's a very interesting sale. It's going to be a long sale. It's going to be a lot for people to get ready for on the Saturday and the Sunday. Anyone wanting to come and inspect these horses, they're going to have to be ready, aren't they, Brett? They're going to have to get out, watch these videos, but also get out and about and inspect them as often as they can.
Yeah, for sure. And if you can get to the farms beforehand, that's always a great place to look at them. Of course, I have the Yearling Parade on the Friday evening, which will be really well received, I'm sure. So that's a big plus. But if you're keen, you'll get to look at the horses. So
yeah, there's a few people been getting around. I know we've crossed paths a couple of times, Brett, or once. I shouldn't say a couple of times. People might think he's been everywhere, but we've definitely crossed paths. But I know a lot of people are getting out, and I know Ben Stud just up the road, they lost their parade yesterday, unfortunately due to the weather. But still, people came and visited, and that's key, I think, for any young person that wants to get involved in the industry. Make sure you do your homework, isn't it?
Exactly right, it is, yeah, for sure. Like you go out and you look at them, you see them in their sort of natural environment, or more natural environment than at a sale complex, and you'll no doubt see one that you didn't have marked down in your book. You'll see it looks like the type of yearling you want to buy, and you might get you might get one sheep that you didn't think. So it's really important to look at every yearling.
I did a podcast with Rob Watson just recently, and getting to know what people look for in a catalogue, and that was one of the things he was key on. Type. He reckons that's what he picks up first, and his type is first thing that he actually likes, and then he goes from there, which I think was really key for a way, like a guy that's got unlimited amount of funds. You think he'd just look at the number one horse, but no, he goes on type first. So we will continue this conversation going a little bit later on. We've got another one for Brett coming into the yard here, which is lot 119, Brett.
So this is a shadow play colt out of Petite Alto. If you look through your catalogue, you won't see too many half brothers to a $400,000 earner, but this guy's one. He's a half to Bitter Bliss, who probably was, when we look back at his career, a little bit of an underrated performer. He won over $400,000. He was won or placed in 35 of his 57 starts. He won the Kilmore Cup twice. He won the Vic Legends twice. So he's a really, really good performer, Bitter Bliss, and here we have a half brother to him. Shadow Play, of course, has left a number of really good performers both here in Australia, New Zealand, and also Canada. Many of them are out of Camfella line mares. Shadow Sax is an example of that, his highest earner in Australia. This guy here is out of a Camfella mare, so you got that same cross. He's a very athletic looking colt.
He's a cracker, isn't he?
Yeah, he's and very, very alert. So he looks like he could have some speed. So yeah, as I said, like a half brother to a $400,000 winner. It's a credit to this colt. So and yeah, I'm sure he's gonna create attention down at the sale complex.
Absolutely, he's got a lot of look at me about him. I must say, bit of bliss you say about him, much maligned. He set a track record from the standing start one day at Bendigo over 2100. I was fortunate enough to have 2 in it trying to chase him. He was just so fast, like he was such an adaptable horse that a lot of the time people don't realise. You sort of forget these horses going along. So but he is a real cracker. The next one is ready to come straight away, Brady, which I think is for you anyway. So I better just this is one a lot of people will be tuning in to have a look at. This is the Sunbeach Somewhere at a Slip Slop Slap.
Yeah, so this guy is obviously going to be one of the colts of the sale. By one of the greatest stallions in history, Some Beach Somewhere. They don't make too many of these anymore. So and out of a already proven producer, Slip Slop Slap. Of course, she's left the great Jillaby Kung Fu, 16-time winner, Chariots of Fire winner, Vicbred winner, and also finished second in the fastest ever race on Australian soil, in the Miracle Mile. So he was a tremendous performer, now a stallion at stud. Of course, though, the big update to the catalogue page on this guy is LB2 Chains, who brilliantly won the Tasmanian Derby only a couple of weekends ago. And he was by Captain Treacherous, so very similar bloodlines to this guy. So a massive update to your page there. Of course, also she's left the Group 3 winner Caribbean Crest and the Group 2 placed Soho Gloria Jane. Some Beach Somewhere's crossed exceptionally well with Arts Placeline mares, headed by his richest earner, Captain Treacherous. So look, this guy's got it all really, and has a real sort of stallion's pedigree about him. So he's going to be really busy at the sales complex.
He's effectively a 3/4 to LB2 Chains, isn't he? Being by the son of Some Beach and that. So and he has a head like LB2 Chains, I must say. So yeah, but he's a
very solid, precocious looking colt, isn't he?
Dennis, would you like to take this one home?
I'd love to take him home. Didn't bring the float. I don't know whether I'd fit him in the car, but absolutely love to take him home.
He's got a lot of look at me about him, that's for sure. So, but he's a little bit nippy, but that's okay. Little blokes seem to be a bit nippy. I don't know why that is, but and he's going to create a lot of interest. I got no doubt about it. He's a real likely type, a likely 2-year-old type as well. So, and the Sun Beach is definitely going good here in Victoria. That's for sure.
Beautiful colt.
He is indeed. We've got one more colt to come out, which is one of Dennis Bice's, who's not quite there yet. So I'm going to throw back that camera that you guys all like so much. I'll get rid of that. So Some Beach Somewhere. The way people go about a pedigree page and that, it's very interesting, isn't it, that everyone's a little bit different. I spoke to David Miles, and a lot of people found his very interesting, the methodology that he goes about. I'm going to try and get a few more. I'm going to actually try and do one with Brett Coffey one day very shortly before the sale's up. But your ideal, like what you actually look for. Dennis, what do you look for when you go firstly into a catalogue?
Well, traditionally, Paul, I've been a buyer of fillies at the sales, obviously because of the breeding point of view. So I like to have a look at the horse and see what type it is, and also to spend a fair bit of time on pedigree, particularly from a future breeding point of view. I've spent a fair bit of time in New Zealand in recent years, picking up some really nice mares or fillies over there at that time to not only race over here but also to look to the future from a breeding perspective. So I've traditionally been to the sales to buy fillies, but might have been a couple of colts that looked pretty good here today.
Is that one of the tricks, is trying to be ahead of the curve? Is that one of the things that people like about breeding horses?
I like the challenge. You've got a lot of things going on, and you're trying to think ahead of what the buyers might be looking for, and so from that perspective, it's a bit of a challenge, but we're always looking forward.
It's a little bit like trying to push all these buttons. Now, Dennis, we have got your last colt that's actually in the sale, Sunshine Beach, out of Vicky Murphy. Sunshine Beach has done a great job as a sire, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, and I really like this bloke. He's a 3/4 brother to Drain the Swamp, who won the Youthful Stakes this year, and has been a really promising horse going forward. Out of her Better's Delight there, Vicky Murphy, who she ran third in the Shaker Maker Classic. She's left Master Cobra, who unfortunately we didn't get to see the best of Master Cobra. She went 155.7, 3 wins and I think 3 placings or 4 placings from only a handful of starts before she broke down. So this bloke is a nice, neat horse. He was always good to do things in the paddock, actually, when he was a young fella. But it's out of that really good, that Vicky Hanover, same old McRae, Dino McRae, Bomber McRae, all those horses, all Group 1, sires winners. So from that perspective, we're extremely happy with this bloke and we think he'll do a good job.
Kitchens will be tuned in with all the McRaes, that's for sure. They love it. It's a proven family, that's for sure. And he's a lovely type, isn't he? He's not big, not small. He's just got a nice little scope. He's got a good barrel about him.
Yeah, well, we sort of spent a bit of time watching them in the paddock as young horses and seeing what they're doing and all the rest of it. But you could go out and do anything with this bloke out in the paddock as a young horse. So we're really happy with the way things have turned out. And I think from a perspective of his 3/4 brother Drain the Swamp, I think there's more to come with him too. So this bloke, I think, should do really, really well.
I think Drain the Swamp's been one of those horses that started racing early as an early 2-year-old, and unfortunately the season ended up being a very long season
for some. It was a long season for
some of those guys, just stretched out through the COVID and the likes, and probably he'd be looking for the paddock, and he'll come back a better horse, I would say. So
yeah, absolutely. So he was a nice, big, strong Sun Beach horse, and this bloke, I think will do a good job as well.
He's obviously raced by a few of the boys on social media. We know the Twitter family and the like, so they'll definitely be tuning in just to have a quick look at him anyway. And he's quite happy to have a bit of a nibble with Stace there. But other than that, he's on his best behaviour going forward. So I think we're going to swap over to the fillies now. I'll throw back to the camera for you guys. Steve, pick up the catalogue. What do you look for when you go to purchase or go through the catalogue? What's the first thing you actually go to look at?
I'm not a big buyer of
You got to put the microphone to your mouth for me. So
I'm not a big buyer of yearlings. I'm a seller. I'm as I say, a small breeder. I just look at families, look at the mare line as far back as I can go. Try and combine some good maternal sires and try and get a top sire if you can, the top line.
Do you try and crossbreed, like you see a cross that works and you try and into
Western Hanover is a cross I like.
Yep. That's an interesting cross because a lot of people don't like this. They're either like or don't like. There's sort of that mixture of people that sort of come and go with that.
Yeah, there's a lot of good Western Hanover art place crosses if you can get them.
Yep.
But to me, Western Hanover, we've got plenty of Western Hanover in our mares, so we're a bit hard pressed to avoid it sometimes without going to an art place Lion Stallion. Yeah,
you've got a couple of interesting ones too. Here you've got the got an Art Major filly, and you've also got a Huntsville filly as well. So you look after Brett next door, but Empire are happy with you as well.
No, well, Art Major goes without saying what he's done and what he produces in terms of 2-year-olds, including fillies coming through now. And that was the cross with the Western Hanover, we thought, with Savage Ideal.
Yep.
And Huntsville, I just thought he was too well priced and too nice a horse to miss.
Yeah.
As it turns out, he didn't come back, so there's not many of them around, and I think they're going to be okay.
They have a little bit of look at me, don't they? They definitely do. There's
they've got plenty of size about them.
Yeah, we were saying there before about Sons of Sun Beach somewhere. He does throw a type, doesn't he, Brett? Like that's one thing that he is throwing through in his progeny. They're strong.
Yes, generally strong through the body. Really, strong shoulders, strong body, strong rear end. They're solid units generally, the Sun Beaches. I've
tuned in a little bit this year with the Huntsvilles and then the down by the Seasides, and the only difference I can see pretty much with them, they throw the same stamp. Seasides are a plain bay. The Huntsvilles seem to be that dark brown or black, but other than that, they seem to have that same big body and big frame about them.
Yeah, definitely. Huntsville probably a little bit bigger most of the time. He was a bigger horse, but similar through the body and head. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. They are lovely horses. Beck Cartwright was going to come out and do an interview with me, and she just took off. So I don't reckon that's going to happen. So I think we're still waiting on the first filly. Is there something you don't look for when you pick up a catalogue, or when you're looking at your yearlings? Is there something and you go, "Oh, I wish I didn't have that in there"?
I I can't say that. I haven't bred enough of them to say that. But
Steve only breeds good horses, Paul.
well, I'd like to think that. We've had a reasonable run of luck, so I certainly look for a bit of luck.
Best horse you've bred?
Sophie's Ideal.
Yep.
Yeah, which is a dam of one of these.
Coming through in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, best mare I've bred.
Yeah. And you enjoy the breeding side of it?
Well, yeah, I do. It's just a hobby for me. And
it's an expensive hobby, everyone will tell you.
I try and maintain the connection with people my old man was involved with. That's a long time ago now, but these are the families that he bred. I just try and maintain that connection and the friendships that were built there in previous generations.
It's one of the great things, I think, about breeding, though. You've all got a champion, especially when they're a foal. We've got 3 foals in the front paddock, and every one of them, you ring Marie now, she'll tell you, every one of them's a superstar. You can't be proven wrong at the minute. That's the best part about it. Even the lots we're looking at today, everyone is entitled to dream because you can't be proven wrong. No. It's a very infectious thing, isn't it, Dennis?
It is very infectious, and I still blame my grandfather for where I am today. And it's a family thing, and once you're in, and you know what it's like. Spent a bit of time together with the horses over the years, so. But yeah, look, it's really enjoyable, and it sort of thing you like to get up every morning and go and look at the mares and the foals, and yeah, it's a good start to the day.
And just have that dream that you're gonna breed a champion, but they don't have to be a champion, do they?
No,
I think if they win a race, you're just happy, or even if they make the races, you're just happy sometimes.
No, well, that's right, and I think the horse that's sort of given us the biggest thrill has been Rare Courage, Moonee Valley Cup winner, Wedderburn Cup winner, 1:15.
One of the best feeds I've ever had, actually, when we won the Moonee Valley Cup, I must say.
We had a very big night. I actually lost the cup that night, but that's okay. It was floating around somewhere. We got it back 2 days later, but that was all right. But we did have a good feed, and everything was really good. So they're the sort of nights that you sort of work for. And, with breeding the horses, I like to stay in touch with everyone who buys horses off of us. So we spend a bit of time talking to them on the phone and seeing how things are progressing and getting feedback from them, because they're all things that can actually help improve going forward.
Yep.
And we spend a fair bit of time talking to the people that bought horses off of us.
And that's one of the things. You meet a lot of people. I'd imagine, Brett, you must know so many people, social media wise, and then through your work, catching up with so many people. It must get hard sometimes to remember every person you're talking to.
No,
I know I get names wrong.
Everyone's name for all the time, never fail. No, of course it doesn't. I'm not that great with names, to be fair. So, but no, it's a great part of the industry. As everyone said here, meeting new people.
Absolutely. I got Rebecca Cartwright. Beck, we might go this way, Dol. You can stay right there, and I'm going to come out to you, I reckon, in a second. Keep coming forward. Don't be shy. It's not actually on you at the minute. Beck's like, I don't like this. I've just got to do some creative jigging. So everyone's just going to have to wait 1 second. I'll sort stuff out. Thank you. Hopefully I don't pull these over. Beck, you're on camera too, just so you don't know. Are we on the picture of their bicycle? Very, very good. Now, high gain hats are out and about today. Pink hats too. Yep. You wanted to showcase my head a little bit more, or what? The pink out bring out my complexion?
Oh, I think we're just getting involved with Sissy Castles, who's running a breast cancer foundation day at Shepherd and Harness Racing Club. So we got on board, and we like to support the teal caps, and this time around we're going to do the pink caps.
Absolutely. She's got a lot going on there. Donna Castles, this is. I was going to have a vest on today, but she's just got to get the finer details. Stay tuned for this week, but it's only going to be a 10-day turnaround, so make sure you keep on top of her Facebook pages and everyone else's too, raising awareness for breast cancer. It's going to be the pink pants going to be worn, I think it's the 23rd of May, am I right?
That's correct, yep. They've got a big day happening. And
going from there. Might have what you guys are here as well, because you feed Dean and Blanche's horses, Rhiannon Park. I almost forgot the name. It's important, and it's changed so much, hasn't it, the way in which we feed young horses and go about them now. It's not like the old days of a bit of oats and a bit of pellets.
No, it's completely changed. We know now that, first, second and third trimester vary, and they need that little bit more going to their third trimester. And then when they're feeding their foals, they need a little bit more again. And now we know when we wean, we've got to do a little bit of creep feeding and things like that. So you've got 5 stages of your mares and foals, and we're in such a hurry to get them back in foal now. We've got to make sure that they're clean and tidy and all ready to go again.
And keep them all healthy and keep all that part going.
100%.
And a lot of that, like you say, creek feeding and the likes stops things like OCDs, which there a while back were sort of one of the problems this time of year in yearling sales, and the likes were an issue. So correct feeding can actually stave off those sort of issues.
We've learnt nutrition. It has a lot to do with X-rays. X-rays are such a massive thing with thoroughbreds now, and it can make or break a sale. And it's not just what they do at the yearling sales, but it's what they go on to do in their racing career, which is just as important. And like we sort of ventured into Mitavite because of the bona fide aspect, and that has scientific research to say it has helped with OCDs and bone density and with things that they normally naturally get out of green grass in the springtime, but we only have that for certain weeks of the year, and we need to supplement it in our feeds now, and especially with horses that are boxed up for some reason, whether they've had an injury or a surgery, and that's the time that we really need to get the nutrition into them.
And right now, with what's going on, like here in Central Victoria or Golden Valley, we're actually in technically rain coming through. We're going to get warm days again next week, so we're going to get fresh shoots. People with ponies are going to get horses with founder and the likes, and people are going to say there's green grass here, so they'll be fine, but there's not that much actually in it. There's enough for a pony to get founder, but there's not enough for a horse to get fat on and the likes. So it's when you guys really have to come to the fore and say to people, make sure you're watching what you're doing.
I think we've learned so much with human nutrition. We've learnt with ponies that you can put a pony out in the paddock for 2 hours and he'll eat 24 hours worth. He'll whippersnip the whole paddock and everything. So
have you ever noticed they don't eat the bit of grass that you actually want them to chew down though? They'll chew all the other stuff you don't want.
They go for the sweet stuff that's like Mars bars coming through the ground, which creates all the laminitis and founder and insulin resistance that we've come to know. Yeah. So it's becoming a real science now, and with the weather that we're having and the green grass that comes through, we've got to be really careful.
Our friends in New South Wales too, like they're getting battered. Some people are in floods, so they're going to be in real trouble, but they have to be aware of what they're feeding, because they're going to have horses that have gone from big boxes paddocks where they can run around to now being completely confined. It's going to throw a big curveball for a lot of those people, from broodmares, which we got here, to young stock trying to raise them, getting them ready for yearling sales and the likes.
100%. We've had some really sad stories come out of Sydney today with people swimming their mares and foals across and using toy ponies to help them learn to swim to get them to safety, and we've sent up a bit of a rescue package up there, especially with things like our safeguard toxin binders for horses that are going to have a little problem with stress, or that haven't got their feed, or they've suffered a little bit with trauma. So we've got a few things into place, and a lot of people around the Windsor, Richmond area have lost stables and houses today, which is a massive horse home area. So there's going to be a lot of sad stories come out of this.
Absolutely, we feel for them, and a lot of these guys are going to be coming down to the sales, hopefully in Nutrien sales. So, and they'll be there. Will you guys be there at the Nutrien sale?
100%. Yeah.
Yep. So you'll be there. So make sure you get in touch with you. You might have to come in a minute too if they start dragging up with some of the yearlings, because I'm running out of things to say to the boys, and they're not as easy on the eye as what you are. So it's a little bit easier to talk to you that way.
I think they look pretty good in their pink hats.
Bicey's done good, hasn't he, in the suit? I must say, he's done a good job. So our next one's ready to go. So I'm going to actually do something very unprofessional and swap over. No, it's all good. Don't worry, you might not be finished yet, so don't worry. All right, I'll go back this way. We've got the camera sitting on nothing. Brett, you're meant to carry for me. That's fine. We'll go that way and that way. Thank you. Whenever Stace. Sorry, mate.
No, I was going to say I think we've got one of Dennis's coming out first. I'm a Yankee Rockstar filly.
Yes, definitely have. It's just coming right now, Bicey, I reckon. This is yours, mate?
Yep, this is mine. Yeah, so this is the only Yankee Rockstar in the sale, so it's an opportunity to go grab a nice filly out of Yankee Rockstar. It's a terrific racehorse. She's a half-sister to two winners in Hancock's Hero, who's won 7, and Go Home Joe, who's won 5. And the other filly out of this mare, Classy Countess, has been placed to date and will run around on Thursday night as well. So if you go back through the family, this is an all-American bred family, very strong. I was really interested in going back further into this pedigree than what I probably normally have done, Paul, in the past, but had a really good look at it, and actually purchased the mare for the purposes of trying to latch into that family. So the third dam was Sales Girl, an Abercrombie mare who left some, I think 14 files for 10 winners and really strong performances in the States. So I like this filly. She's very, very easy to do things with, and we just, been really pleased with the way that she's come up through this as well. And as I said, I was a bit of a fan of Yankee Rockstar when he was running around, and wanted to take the opportunity to take the mare to him, and this is the result.
I've done a little bit with Kath McIntosh over the journey, and I must say I love Rockstar. He is the most photogenic. He is the most polite horse to do anything with, and I think he's leaving that in his progeny. And he's a little bit like Better Bliss before that Brett was talking about. He actually forgets how good these horses really were, and the turn of foot that he did have as well. Not many horses can come wide at Cranbourne. Cranbourne can be one of those tracks, and his Cranbourne Cup win was just phenomenal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a terrific win. So
he's just a lovely, lovely horse. So, yeah, she's a real nice type too. You'd have to be happy with how she's come about.
Yeah, no, really happy with her.
Very, very good. Next one is ready to go. The girls are going to get us on the hop, I reckon, here for a little while. And I reckon this is for you, Brett, this one, a little betting line.
Yes, so this is lot 57, the betting line filly out of Magic Moment Lombo. Magic Moment Lombo was a really precocious filly herself. She won the heat and final of the Lombo, which is, was always the first 2-year-old race of the season. She then ran third in the Vic Bred final as a 3-year-old, so had plenty of ability herself, won 11 times and over $84,000 in prize money. Her dam was Lady Julie Lombo, and she was stakes placed herself as well. But at stud, she's done a really good job. 3 winners from 4 foals, including 2 $100,000 plus earners on the track. So it's a family that's doing a lot up close. You go back further in the page and you see horses like Natural Disaster, Highfalutin, Mon Lilies, and Mon Poppies, which all those names might not mean a lot to people on the East Coast, but they're all really good horses in WA.
You've got a soft spot for them, haven't you?
Yeah, I do.
Where does he come from?
Natural Disaster's a really good horse. Highfalutin was a tremendously fast horse, really good horse back in the day. So there might be 1 or 2 people out there that remember who he was. But and of course she's by betting line. So this is the second crop of betting line. He was obviously a Little Brown Jug winner, tremendous, USGA 3-year-old of the year. And his oldest are now 2-year-olds in Australia. He's already got 3 winners, all in sub 2 minutes, including What Are the Odds, who's gone 156.1, and Comet Crusader, who's gone 156.6. So she looks like she could be similar to her mum and a real get up and go type horse.
A little bit like Rockstar betting line in a way too. Throws a bit of a stamp about them, and I really like that. They've got a really nice little presence about them, haven't they?
Yeah, and they've got that precocious look about them, which she definitely has.
We actually are at Concord Park, and this horse has pretty much been bred here her whole life. It's with the previous owner as well, having bred that one. The next one, Brett, a lot of people are going to be waiting to see this little one come through. It is lot number 62, an American Ideal out of Manalira, and making. Well, she's out. I'll let you do the pedigree. I'll behave myself now, and you can talk your way through it.
No, this one's one of the best bred fillies in the catalogue. There's no question about that. An American Ideal filly out of the Art Major mare Manalira. This page is incredible. There's no fewer than 7 Group 1 winners on this catalogue page. Manalira herself was an excellent juvenile or 2-year-old. She won semi-finals at both the APG and the Vic Bred, finished second in the APG final, won over 100 grand, so just a tremendous performer. But then you go down into the page and you see horses like Group 1 winners like Village M, Nostra Beach, Miss Graceland, all half relations to Manalira. Also the full sister, of course, is Pixel Perfect, dam of incredibly 6 $100,000 earners, including Carlos Pixel, Soho No Leader, and the millionaire Soho Tribeca. This filly really closely, bred or closely related to Soho Tribeca, given they're both by American Ideal out of full sisters. So this filly is a filly you buy, you race her, and then you put in your broodmare band and you enjoy the fruits for a long time after, because it's a family you don't get a lot of opportunity to buy into. Obviously Rob Watson's got a bit of it, and he doesn't sell much of it at this stage anyway. So, just one of the best families in Australia for sure.
He's not exactly sure how Shannon Nixon managed to get Carlos Pixel. He sort of alluded to that a couple of times.
Yeah. Well, that was Mark Denyer bought her as a yearling for. It wasn't a lot of money at that stage because the family hadn't, it was a good family, but it wasn't a great family like it is now. I think he might have paid about 20 grand for her. She was a little bit on the small side, being a courage under fire mare, but and then Shannon and Mark are friends and worked a deal out at some point. And it's just a tremendous family that's the last 10 years has just gone boom and just exploded.
So one of the great stories too, I've had a couple of conversations with your dad, both recorded and not recorded, and he quite often says about breeding and how it's an unknown science, and Pixel Perfect, and I won't get into trouble from Rob for saying this, the biggest knock on Pixel Perfect was she was so slow.
Yeah.
That was how they even come to breed from her, was one of those things, and she's just gone on to be an absolute broodmare jet as well. So it's one of those funny things. So there's no rhyme and reason to what makes them superstars. The first horse that went through the sale out of this family, Judd's purchased, or clients of Judd's may have purchased, and broke in very, very well, but won't be seen on the racetrack. Unfortunately had a paddock accident and is actually in foal already, so she won't be seen on the racetrack at any time, unfortunately. But yeah, she was just a freak accident that happens, which we all know when we've got horses. So I think you're back up, Brett, with a rock and roll dance.
Yes, so this is the lot 89, the rock and roll dance filly out of Mustang Sassy, which I spelled incorrectly on my notes. So Mustang Sassy is a modern art mare. This is a rock and roll dance filly. Tremendous, when you look at her, a big upstanding sort of filly. Mustang Sassy is a half sister to the Group 1 winner Sassy Gina, who of course is the dam of the champion filly Sassy Sarah, winner of the Breeders' Crown Vic Bred Final, an Oaks winner, Leadership Mile winner, just one of the best fillies / mares that we've seen in Victoria, at least in the last 25 years. It's a really good fillies family, and this filly, no reason why she couldn't be the next one out of it. A rock and roll dance has really crossed well with Arts Place Line mares. His best winner down here, of course, is No Win No Feed, who's out of an Art Major mare, so very similar bloodlines. In America, 5 of his top 8 earners are out of Arts Place Line mares. And if we go even closer, like the Rock and Roll Dance Modern Art Cross has been really good down here, producing the stakes winners Where You Been Boppin', Tassie Oaks winner Spanish Dance, and the Group 1 placed Our Money Rocks. So it's a really good cross. And looking at the article that it's produced, it's this filly looks really, really strong, really relaxed again, as all of them have been, and no reason why she couldn't be a really good race mare for someone.
No, rock and roll dance. I know you guys stood him, but I think two of the key things that might have happened, Marie may have sent a mare to him, so I must go make sure I give him a plug for that. But Brecken Farms, one of the world-renowned breeders, they sent the mother of King of Swing to him a couple of years ago, and also a sister to King of Swing to him. They were offered up this year at the sale in New Zealand, and both sold for very, very good money. I think when farms like that are going to him, it's a very, very good push, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And he's just done a really nice job down here, getting good winners each year. He had a couple of Group 1 winning 2-year-olds last season, so he's doing a good job. Absolutely,
he is. The girls have got us on the jump here with the fillies, that's for sure. We've got our next one coming through, which is lot number 143. Steve, if any time I have to talk to you, you make sure you tell me, but I'm pretty sure this is back to Brett again, isn't it?
It is, yes, it is. So this is the betting line filly out of Shelbyville.
Yep.
I'm just getting my notes up.
What a lovely little filly.
Lot 143. So Shelbyville was a very good performer on the racetrack, won over 100 grand and won 15 times. She's a half sister to 3 winners, including the Group 1 winner, Our Dollywood. It's a really good maternal family, this one of the best in New Zealand. If you look down the page, there's horses like the immortal Courage Under Fire, Jessie Duke, and the current star mare, Stylish Memphis. Of course, Stylish Memphis by Bettor's Delight, this filly by Betting Line, so it's a similar sort of crossover of the family. Once again, the second crop of betting lines, she's got that really precocious look about her as well. So no reason why she couldn't be another betting line winner as well. But it's a family that is well sought after, and with good reason. When you look down there and you see those really good juvenile stakes winners, and she looks like she could be another one.
He's a bit of a unique horse, betting line. Like I said before, he throws a stamp. We've seen 2 of them here today, and they both look very similar.
Yep.
Being by Bettor's Delight, there's no rhyme and reason to what makes a Bettor's Delight. He doesn't throw a stamp. He sort of throws them all shapes and sizes, but Betting Line definitely throws a bit of a stamp on them, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does for sure. And that dark colour, bit of white,
easy to sell those horses to the bride when you get home. You just say, "Oh, come and have a look at her or him," and nice chocolate colour. It's the way to sell them. I mean, you guys think I'm kidding, but some of us have to report home, and it can be a bit tricky from time to time. That's for sure. But lovely little filly, and as you said there before too, Brett, all these horses are really taken to this, no worries at all, aren't they? Standing in under the shelter. I know it's not raining at the minute, but from time to time it has been starting to spit again, and they don't seem to worry about it at all.
Oh no, they've been beautifully prepared by the team, and they're just very relaxed, which is really good to see. Absolutely.
So next one, we've got them beat now for the minute, boys. The next one's not quite ready to come out, but won't be far off. I'm not actually sure.
This will be mine, Paul.
Very good. Well, that's
155.
155. We'll just wait till it comes, Steve. We can't have you shooting all your bullets straight away. You're right, Stace. If you want to go, I can throw the camera back onto Steve so that he can give us a little bit of an update of how many mares you actually do have, and you go through each year.
I'm down to about 2 or 3 mares, Paul.
Is that what we declare, or that is actually official?
That's official. I'm not sure if you're talking about declaring to the tax office or maternals, but
no, the lovely lady who got me a jacket just before because I was getting cold.
I'm not sure I could actually hide any of this, but it's all a bit obvious when the money's flowing out. Sue's been a great support in this, and she loves spending 14,000 on Art Major or 25,000 on Captain Treacherous.
It is one of those hidden little things. This one here is the one you were saying before, out of the best bred mare that you bred. I must swap you guys over. Out of Sophie's Ideal, mate.
Yep. By Art Major, obviously a great sire of young horses. This one's very chunky, very muscular, with a great shoulder, just like Sophie's Ideal. A good rear end as well. Sophie's Ideal at this stage is a 100% producer. She's got a winner by Captain Treacherous and a winner by Art Major, which is a full brother to this filly. And we'll be very sad to sell this filly.
Yeah, she's a lovely type, isn't she? She's got Art Major's neck and shoulder. I had a lot to do with our Golden Goddess at one stage, and that's what she had, is that big rounded shoulder and incorporated neck. And you can actually see there how much she's going to grow, this one, can't you?
Yeah, she'll grow quite a bit. Very smart head as well. You can see elements of American Ideal and Art Major in the shoulder and the head. You were asking before what I like about broodmare sires. I think American Ideal is going to be a great broodmare sire.
And also Art Major as well, isn't he? Art Major's proven, so yeah.
Art Major's proven broodmare sire. So as far as buying fillies go, for racing and for broodmare potential, I think there's a lot of potential in this filly.
And she's a lovely sweet filly too, isn't she?
She is.
Yeah, very, very excited. So how many mares do you have, mate?
Still 2 or 3.
Just the 2 or 3, yeah. And you're just going to keep it at that?
Well, we're breeding a lot of fillies, so if we don't sell them, we'll be expanding the broodmare brand.
That'd be all right. That'd be good for Nutrien. You'll have more horses in a couple of years. We might have to have 400 yearlings going through. But I think that's one of the exciting parts about this sale is how many they have actually got in this draft.
They've picked up huge numbers for the industry. There's numbers that are coming through that you wouldn't have seen without the Nutrien sale. So I'm just not sure where they're coming from, but so far so good.
Yeah, well, I've seen a lot. I said there before to Brett that we crossed paths at one of the other studs that I'll be doing one of these for on Sunday, Yabby Dam Farm. I can say it on here. Blanche won't mind, but for the Nutrien sale and the likes. But we've crossed paths. But there is a lot of horses to look at, isn't there, Brett?
Absolutely is, for sure, Paul. It's but that's the challenge of it all, and hopefully plenty of buyers there to buy them all.
Yeah, that's I think the one thing that we must do if you're a young stable out there and you want to get owners, make sure you're aware that tell them that they're aware of it and get going. And one other thing I will say that Mark's telling me, if you want to bid and all the rest, get registered early. Don't try and just rock up on the day. Try and get registered early. It'll make things a lot easier for the Nutrien, the girls in the office and everything else like that. That's one thing they do want to get to. So go to Nutrien. .com.au I think it is Nutrien Equine. Yes, that's it. I knew it. And then it's got the .com.au. I should have it up on the bottom of the screen if I was organised, but go there and get registered early. I know Mark and the crew will be watching this. If Mark is watching, I won't be ringing you either, mate. I was going to try and bring him into the thing. He's a bit disappointed he couldn't get here. It is a juggle for them, especially post the COVID as well, I think, for trying to get across everywhere we go. I need to know, guys, which number we're up to because I'm out of whack all of a sudden. So I know Virtuoso, Auckland Reactor.
Yes, that's it. This is lot 183, the Auckland Reactor filly out of Virtuosi, I think it is. It is. So this girl is from the same family as Nikki's Delight, who we saw the colt out of before. This filly's a half sister to 3 black type winners, including Nikki's Delight, who of course is the dam now of Dominus Factum, that Group 3 performed horse, 3-year-old in WA that I spoke about earlier. Virtuosi's 3-year-old horse called Pray Tell. She'll surely join the winners list shortly. She's been placed 5 of 9 starts, really got the hoof on the till, so she'll be another winner shortly for that page. If you look further down that page, it's a really good family. So as I said before, Major Kiss, winner of the Group 1 Bathurst Gold Tiara, and Marquez de Poche, winner of the Group 1 New South Wales Oaks. So very good fillies family. And Auckland Reactor crossing well with the sort of Abercrombie Arts Place line mares as well. This filly once again very solid, strong through the body, very relaxed as per usual for all the draft that we've seen today. Look, she looks a lovely filly.
A stallion I know you had a soft spot for in Auckland Reactor, Brett, as well. A lot of them are very tall, rangy sort of horses. This one's very, very compact, isn't she? She's
a little bit different. Yeah, as you said, like they're generally like Alabar Race Chase Auckland. He was more similar to the colt that we saw previously, a bit bigger, a bit ranger. This filly's a lot more compact. Looks more like a 2-year-old type. Looks like she's got a bit of get up and go about her. Really, like that nice loose walk. Really solid. And
very, very relaxed. And
very relaxed, yes.
I'd say through back to that Mach 3 cross, which is key to a lot of the Auckland Reactors, I think. So he's done a good job. But he's another stay-in. A lot of people, I suppose, talk about, but don't give him a lot of raps and a lot of plaudits. But he has done a pretty good job over the journey, hasn't he?
Yeah, look, he's left some really nice horses headed by Chase Auckland, who was 3-year-old colt of his year in New Zealand. Multiple Group 1 winner, and thrown a number of other good horses as well. But like, as you said, flies under the radar a little bit.
Absolutely, he does. What's your favourite part about the breeding, Brett?
Just as I think it was Dennis said before, the challenge of it all. It's just an intriguing thing. And then you get to follow the foals all the way through. I've always found breeding more exciting than racing. A bit different there, I suppose. But I just really like it. Just, I don't know, love every bit about it, really.
And which is
Spend
really
a lot of time researching it, a lot of time watching races, and looking at foals and photos and whatever else.
This one is for Dennis. This one is but it actually affects you a little bit. And this is a beautiful little type of filly out of a mare. Dennis, you raced yourself, and she done a terrific job for you.
Yeah, we watched the Dream out in New Zealand. I bought her off of Mark Jones, and based on just the pedigree and the family, and watched the Dreams out of that really good mare, Dreamy Adam, who was 2-year-old New Zealand filly of the year. But she's also left Western Dream, who was also a New Zealand 2-year-old filly of the year and New Zealand 3-year-old filly of the year. If you go back further in to the file, she's actually left. She's left a mare called Christian Dreamer, who was unraced, but she's the dam of Amazing Dream, who's just recently announced as the 2020 New Zealand 3-year-old filly of the year, and Let's Chase the Dream also. So a really strong family, this one. I was really pleased to actually pick the mare up, and we had a few challenges with the mare. I think she ran 13 seconds, which was a little bit frustrating, but she was a terrific mare and did really well. And we sold a sports rider filly out of that mare last year, and she'll head to the trials on Thursday night here at Shepparton. So
who's got her?
Mark Watson has got her. Mark bought her at last year's sales, and I rang him up on the way home and said I want to buy back in. So I've actually bought back into that filly as well, and I did tell Brenda that I was doing that. So, but I really liked the sports rider last year. But this filly being by Art Major, it's a cracker of a family, and she's a lovely filly. And for anyone who's looking for a filly to breed on, this would be the one that you'd be looking at.
Brett wears many hats. I said there before, Brett, about the shoulder and the neck on these Art Major fillies are Sophie's Ideal earlier in this filly here. He throws a stamp on some of the fillies, doesn't he, Art Major? And it seems to be that shoulder and neck that really stands out on some of them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's definitely one of the stamps his progeny like that. He's one of the most handsome horses I've ever seen, and he throws that look into them. You can tell a lot. When you go out in the paddock, you can tell a lot of the time which is the Art Major because of that neck and shoulder. It's just one of the things he throws.
Yeah, and then throws fast mares as well, as I said.
Yeah, no, he does. He's got some good ones coming through as 2-year-olds in New Zealand as well. But yeah, no, he's just done it for so long now. Produced a lot of good fillies and mares over the years.
Probably one of the things too. Sometimes people say about buying, going to a service fee and you go to an expensive horse, and he's not on his own, but he can throw the bread and butter horse as well that can well and truly cover your service fee you're going through. He doesn't always throw champions. None of them all throw champions. That's one of the things about breeding, but he does a good job of those middle range horses as well, doesn't he?
Oh, for sure, yeah, absolutely, yep. No, he's just a really good, consistent horse, stallion, and I suppose the get up and go, the precocious type of horse is what he throws. So you get a return early, and with a filly like that, you race her early, and then you breed from her later. Like it's she's got the breeding there to be a really good broodmare down the track.
Absolutely. I think this might be you, is it, Steve?
Yes, it is, Paul.
The Huntsville.
Yep.
I said before they're all dark. This one's a little bit lighter bay, but she's still that brown bay, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's a lovely horse.
Very, very nice filly, isn't she? Quite solid, quite tall, and will get a bit taller.
She's got a mind of her own. Stace wants it. I think Stace is sick of going around in circles. She's like, yeah, I'll go with you. But lovely filly. You like the breeding of this one?
I do. Huntsville, as I say, is going to be very interesting to see what he does in this country, and if the horse can ever come back here, it'd be great. I think he's doing a good job in the States. That Captain Treacherous line out of a Western Hanover line mare, he's got to be a good stallion. The mare is a Badlands Hanover mare. This filly's a half sister to Sophie's Ideal, as I say. I really like this filly.
The Badland Hanover mares, they've done a good job too, haven't they? As a broodmare, they've done it's a proven line. It's one that maybe a lot of people new to the sport might say, "Oh, who's this?" But he's there a long time, as well as Perfect Art. There's a couple of good, and there's a couple in this draft actually out of both mares by that stallion, and that's I think always key to look for the broodmare sires that throw good progeny.
Yep.
And which is like a really good. The Sun Beaches and Sons of there was probably a thought that they weren't really going to suit Australian racing for a while, but I think they're really starting to show their own now. They're coming into the fore, aren't they?
Really coming through now, yeah. I think you're going to see a dominant sideline there coming through.
A little bit more because we've got a lot of short course racing. I think actually suits them a little bit. So, but yeah, definitely doing a good job. You'd have to be happy, Steve, with how both your fillies are presented, including this one.
Blanche and Dean do a magnificent job. They turn them out brilliant every year. These two, particularly this year, I'm really happy with how they're looking. In fact, the whole draft today has been terrific.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all very, very good. I think we've got another one coming through the way that filly was looking forward, but she's actually happier to be going back that way. I know that she was.
Doesn't like the attention.
No, she didn't like the attention. We haven't got many to go. Actually, we only have got two left to go, and one of those there'll be a few people hanging on. I think Stuart Watt might be hanging on for the last one. That's for sure. Not sure if there's other ones coming just yet or not. Or I'm going to throw back to you guys. I might throw back to you guys just to put you under the bus. You reckon I would have had that camera up a bit high? I thought you might have been sitting down for this, but you have all sort of stood. So I left you standing and gone from there. Brett, we're going to be doing a couple of these. I think you're going to be at Oakbank with me on the Sunday and the likes, but different world, social media now, and getting the word out there in a different way. It's a bit of excitement, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, it's a great way. You get it out and live in real time and get people talking about it. Yeah,
absolutely, and create a bit of attention. So this one is for you, Brett. This is another Huntsville, though.
It is, yeah. So this is lot 250 out of the mare Cold Outside. Sorry.
Appropriately named.
Yeah, exactly. Very typical by the looks of it of what the Huntsvilles that we've seen. Good size, really strong filly, and that dark colour that you mentioned before. Huntsville won over $1.7 million in his 25-start career. He was the leading first season stallion at the US sales last season, and they've sold for up to 50 grand in Australia this year, so very well received. Cold Outside has already produced a couple of black type performers, black type winners I should say, and she's herself as a half sister to the really good racehorse Austral Francais, and also to the dam of the $400,000 winner TONTO. So a couple of really good performers close up in this fillies family. It's also a little bit further down the page the family of last season's stakes winner in Tasmania, Written in Silk. So some current performers there as well. But you look at her, she just looks like she could start running straight away. She's a beautiful, strong, really nice looking filly, really.
And got a lovely head on her, hadn't she?
Yeah. Very.
Which was actually good. I've tried to zoom in on a couple of their heads, but they haven't sort of stood there that quietly, but that one has. Of course, TONTO, we all know what that stands for, don't we? Tonto. Yeah.
Okay. I never actually clicked on there, so sorry, a bit slow on the uptake there.
Well, my random brain, Brett.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you got to be very careful what can come out of it from time to time. But Dennis he's ready to chime in. Don't worry about that.
I was going to say it's only the first one today. We're nearly finished, so not sure what's going on.
It's been a long day. Blanche and Dean have done a great job. We've only got one more to go, and it's actually going to come straight out for you, Brett. So we don't have to pad for very, very long. But a lot of people, as I said, Stuart Watt and the crew, be waiting for this one. Little creatine trotting filly. Shouldn't say little, but she is a lovely little filly. She just doesn't want to come out of the shed, unfortunately, by the looks. But she's coming.
So this is lot 293, the creatine filly out of Gypsy Flair.
Beautiful filly, isn't she?
She is, yeah. Creatine's a really nice looking stallion himself, and he throws that into his progeny. Those good looks, but not too many horses in the catalogue, are half sisters to a horse of the year last season, a reigning horse of the year. But this is one of them. She's of course a half sister to the wonderful Emma Stewart trained Bangles, who won the Vic Bred final last year, and was awarded Australian 2-year-old trotting filly of the year. So a really current family. That was Gypsy Flair's first foal. She's then had a father, Patrick, which is also in the Stuart Tonkin barn, which is a 2-year-old. Now this filly here, so it's a filly with a lot of upside. Of course, Gypsy Flair is out of the star race mare and brilliant producer Fiona's Flair. She did it on the racetrack, winning 15 times, including the EB Cochrane Trotters Cup. In the breeding shed, she's been even better. She's just, definitely one of the best trotting broodmares that we've had in Australia in recent times. Producing 4 $200,000 earners, A Touch of Flair, Son of Flair, Mighty Maori, and of course Down Under Muscles, who was also became a stallion as well. So a really good family. Creatine was a very good racehorse himself, a multi-millionaire, an international performer. He won races in America and also in Europe. He had his debut crop race last season in America, and his best performer was a horse called Take All Comers, who was a stakes winner at the Red Mile in a very quick time. He's got 2-year-olds down here and this season, and he's already had a place getter in New Zealand already at Alexandra Park, so they're well on their way to becoming a stallion down here as well. And she's a very sharp looking filly, so you'd expect her to sort of hit the track running like so many of her family members. The
three of you gentlemen are all breeders, and the likes. When you're breeding a trotting filly, this is sort of the bloodlines that you look for. Sorry, she moved then and got a little bit closer, but this is one of the things you want, isn't it? Blanche, don't know you run too far away. Blanche has just taken off the other way, but that's one of the key things you definitely look for, isn't it? So good bloodlines and a good maternal family.
The good thing with this filly as well, you've got the strong maternal family, and you've also got the mare that's left a current performer. So you've got you're covering both aspects. Like only a third foal out of the mare, who's and she's a half sister to last season's 2-year-old trotting filly of the year. So you sort of tick both boxes there. So it's
I think one of the other ticks too is the half sister. They're not saying actually how she goes, so I think that's a good sign because they know this one's in the sale. So I'd say you don't hear any rumours about how good she is.
They're pretty happy with her.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of upside with this filly for sure.
Absolutely. Well, guys, are you going to send Blanche back out for me, Stace? She should have come back out just so we can sign off, but she did a bolter on me, that's for sure. But, guys, I must say thank you very much. I've enjoyed it. I think good luck to you guys all for, or two of you anyway. One of you has got to do some more stuff with me, but at the sales, I think it's going to be exciting and a lot to go on. So I think good luck to you. You are excited about it. You've both got a worried look on your face, but you're a bit worried.
You're always worried at this stage, but the excitement of the sales and the work that's been done so far and the way the horses have been presented, we've been given every chance. And, you can only just hope you get there and things go well and, the horses come along and win races and do the right thing by the people who purchase them. So, but we've had a great time in terms of rearing and breeding them and getting them to where they are. And as I said before, Blanche and Dean have done an amazing job with them as well. So, looking forward to the 10th.
Absolutely. Steve, did you want to say anything before we finished off?
No, I totally agree with what Dennis has said.
Don't do that too often. It's not good for you.
He's looking after you pretty well, Dennis. He's going first, and I'm just bring up the tails. So no, it should be a really good day. The sales. Looking for good weather.
I'm actually happy to say he guides me in everything I do. So if anyone says what I do is crazy, you can blame it all.
I was hoping you wouldn't mention that.
And Brett, like from your point of view, one, you've got to be selling quite a few other people's horses going forward, but I think you must be enjoying it and just a different way of promoting the industry. It's a lot of excitement, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and Mark and the team at Nutrien have done a tremendous job. With this sale, putting the catalogue together and also promoting it, it's really happy with how it's all going.
Blanche is just going to try and get into that shot. You've got to move Dennis across, Blanche. Well done. Are you happy with how everything went?
Really happy that seemed to go okay. I hope people got a look at something they liked and hopefully they come along we'll be there on the Thursday. So if anyone wants to come down and have a look at any of them before the sale, welcome to at any stage. Also in the next couple of weeks in the lead up we're open doors. Just give us a call and make an appointment and we'll show you whatever you like.
I know Dean said there before that a couple of guys with Juddy's sale, they rang up and asked if they could come and have a look. Absolutely, there was no worries, and that was a Sunday, so there was
no worries at all.
There was no problems there, and it's key, isn't it, to being able to sell them and market them. I mean, the guy's given up the time to come here for us today and do it this way, but you've got to do it behind the scenes all the time, don't you?
I will. Firstly, too, I would like to thank everyone for coming today and helping us out with this. It's fantastic, and it's just another way to promote the horses.
Yeah, and look, from my point of view, I'd love to say well done to Nutrien as well. I think what they're doing, because they've rang me 3 times today to make sure everything was sweet as well. So I think that's key. As I said, I was going to get Mark on to have a chat with him, but it's not happening because I couldn't get one other computer set up, but that's okay. But it is key to this. So April 10 and 11 at Oaklands Junction. It's going to be very, very exciting. A lot of marquees too. That's one thing I'm looking forward to. So, I've got invites to about 4 or 5, so I won't be eating, so it'll be fine. I'll just eat at everyone else's. Haven't got one at Alabar yet. Do I have to go through you, Brett, or through Alan?
No, we've got one there, so
it'll be fine.
I'll an open invitation to everyone.
I'll just walk in and get the food. Don't you worry about that at all. Thank you very much, guys. This has been a bit of a wrap. Hopefully people have enjoyed it. I'm not sure if we've got any comments. We have actually got one comment somewhere here. Ollie's half sister, so I'm not sure. Oliver's half sister, where's that? Claire Weston. So Oliver's half sister. Of course, she found that one. Being an owner of Bengals, they finally got to the end of it. But hopefully people have enjoyed it. Something very different. Well done, Blanche. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. And we'll call it a day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.